Thank you so much for being here. It's a freaking honor. It's a freaking honor to be here.
Thanks for being here so
Super
much, man.
excited.
Me too, man. Dude, I wanted to, I reached out to you. We were talking a little bit even before we started recording about. I'm really interested in your journalist life. What is the life of a journalism, especially with all this crazy world stuff going on right now? Like, is it what is the life like? If you could help me
Honestly,
out.
um, I actually went on a unique route through journalists because I'm very lucky with the job I had. Shout out to Atmosphere; they're an amazing team. They gave me the opportunity to do news producing with them, and I couldn't be more thankful. And I'm taking a loving to the job. I really brings out the passion in me covering different types of news for businesses so that people can go in different bars and restaurants and really check them out themselves and really check out the channel for themselves. There's no talking heads, it's just really highlights. So it is definitely unique for journalism because that's not really what the traditional route is. But
Hmm.
we do have experienced producers, we do have experienced journalists, editors, and they really love their work just as much as I do. And I couldn't be thankful for that. But the life of a journalist from coming from me as a college student in UL Lafayette, it's very competitive. It's extremely competitive. But that doesn't mean that all journalists are all like selfish, individualistic at all. That's not it. In fact, the journalist community, every press release I've ever been in, everyone's been so nice, helpful. I'm sitting there, all these big cameras, right? Like getting ready to interview Ted Cruz, for example. And
I did. You told me about that, and I saw the video. That was the coolest thing ever.
I'm sitting there, like I'm covering my own little independent My Point TV, going in there, with like a little baby camera, and you see all these, CBS, Dallas, Fox 8, all these big cameras. And you
Wait,
just
so where was this at? So for the people listening, where was this thing at? Because that's probably one of the most interesting stories you've told me about.
so if I remember correctly, this was the story where Ted Cruz visited the Dallas Convention Center in downtown, where there was over about 2,000 immigrant kids held up. The Biden administration transported the illegal immigrant kids to that convention center um, in the summer last year. I don't remember exactly
Mhm.
what time, but I remember Ted Cruz was going there. The journalists were not allowed to go see the convention center. We were not allowed in. So, but Ted Cruz was, and he came out and he started ranting about, oh my God, you should have seen how it was there and everything. And this was just after, I remember now, this was just after he came back from Cancun. This was just after he came back from Cancun after the winter storm. So it was
Oh my
around March
god,
or
yes.
April.
That
Yeah.
was all the memes. I remember all those memes. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Yeah. I remember that. I always feel so intimidated when you go to cover press releases because, I'm sitting there like with a tiny little camera and like
Right.
trying to trying to make sure I fit in, I'm not like some sort of, you know, I don't know, like black sheep. I don't know. I
Right,
don't
right, right. No, yeah, because it's
know.
yeah.
But you're there, you're doing the job. You got to do what you got to do, even if
Right.
it's through camera phones, which luckily for journalists, camera phones are like really good for cameras in general. They offer high quality. So it's a good backup, but you don't, obviously you have microphones, you have really good copy editors, producers, editors, and you have a team around you. But nowadays, journalism as a whole is extremely competitive.
Damn, that's crazy, man. I've heard, you hear stories like, people going to war and stuff like that. Like I think we were talking about last time, like especially with the Ukraine stuff and like the Russia stuff, war going on and everything. Like it couldn't be so more relevant. Like the journalism is, it's because you're stepping in and you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who, or what situation is going to happen. I mean, that's the kind of the magic of it, I guess, or the mystery of it. Do you like the adrenaline of it, of that?
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a there's a sense of rush that you get when you really when you're doing a great job, when you really let the other person be comfortable and they can speak their mind. Um, that's when the rush comes in, because you're really letting the other person tell the story. Because I feel like, one, we journalists take themselves way too seriously as like this voice that they have to talk about and report over the story, rather than let the story speak for itself, let the action speak for itself, or the witness or the person interviewed, let them speak for themselves. And we I understand why we have these kind of editing rules of, for example, like when interviewing somebody and you're doing a story and you have to edit it, you usually want only about 10 to 15 seconds of a certain voice. Whether it be me doing stand up, you only want about 10 to 15 seconds of the journalist, then 10 seconds of another soundbite, then 10 seconds of another soundbite, and therefore to keep the audience's interest. It's all about keeping the audience invested in the story. And I get that. But a lot of the times that always makes it feel emptier, like lack of content. And it can be very easily, while easily digestible, really can go over the heads of people. It can make a story forgettable. It can make a
Mm.
story overly simplified when it should be nuanced. And that to me, it's one of the criticisms of being a journalist. You can't take yourself too seriously. You have to be grounded. You have to just do your job. You're there
Hmm.
to report the news as unbiased as possible. Yeah, you can have a personality, have fun, engage with the community, but if you want to have people trust you, you're going to have to be as unbiased as possible, and honestly, it's professional and kind. And you grow your audience. People focus too much on ratings
Hmm.
and not enough on building that solid trust that old school journalists pre-internet were able to do. You think like Walter Cronkite, or you think of like other local news, which is for a long time why people trusted local news stations for before Twitter and before social media,
Hmm. Hmm.
because they were able to go down in the community really, and yeah, make more violent and blood and guts news become the norm in the 90s and early 2000s, that sensationalized news. But they still had the trust of the public. And
Right.
I don't know, ever since social media, that really has gone down. And to
Why
me,
do you think that is? Or sorry, yeah, keep
no, no,
going.
no, you're good, you're good. I personally think that has something to do with social media just popularizing tabloid news to a extreme degree. So it
Okay.
is easier than ever to have a bot just just type in and code easily digestible news and just plug it in on social media. I mean, for
Right.
example, why Mark Zuckerberg got and Facebook got in so much trouble, 2 years ago, or like even I don't even remember when the Mark Zuckerberg trials went. You remember that?
Whenever he was losing Facebook or buying Facebook,
No, no,
or
no, no. He was in trouble because he
oh, for the
illegally
data.
stole data. Yes,
Data, yes, yes, yes. I remember that whenever AOC was kind of going at him too. I
yes, yes.
remember those things.
All
Yeah.
the memes were glorious.
Yes.
I remember the Mark Zuckerberg memes of him drinking water, like just like
Oh yeah, that's when they came out with the alien. Like they kept doing the music, the alien.
my
It's like
favorite.
they're
One of
like he looks like a lizard.
my favorite of all time is what is like he's eating toast and they just put robot noise on it. It's like
Oh god. Oh my god.
that one was awful.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, to build something like that, you gotta be some sort of robot or something. To do some stuff like that, man, you gotta be some sort of robot,
I
man.
think
Because
he's
it's
I think he's at this point doing a running joke. I mean, you have to be aware of it. I mean, you have to be aware of it. That or he's just gone. Like I have a theory that is like there comes a point. It's like there comes a point where you just become too rich to kind of communicate or relate to anybody.
you don't even connect at that point. You just
Exactly. You kind of become an alien.
yeah, right.
There's a
Oh my god.
something happened where he lost his humanity there and he just became a robot.
And that, or a lizard apparently.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, shout out to Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, no kidding. Please.
Don't hack us, please. Hey, look, I'll do the pod. Let's do the podcast in the metaverse next time. That'll make
that is a great idea, actually. That'd be pretty cool.
Uh,
Well, I'm still trying to, tap to his ego too.
Joe Rogan to the punch. All right, let's be.
Oh, that's awesome,
No, but
man.
personally, to get back on topic,
No, no, you're good. This is exactly what we need.
uh, I personally believe that people just lost faith in news. I completely understand why. I mean, when
Because
Donald,
yeah,
that one of the few things that Donald Trump I agreed with was that fake news is being everywhere, and
right.
why nobody trusts CNN or Fox News, the big two highest rated shows on television.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good,
Oh,
man.
with the punches.
Yeah, man. Show must go on. That's all it
uh,
is.
okay, so you were saying that uh, that the fastest way to someone is
Yeah. The fastest way to get an idea into someone's head right now is through memes, is through slides, is through pictures, through easily digestible headlines. Just
Mhm.
make it quick, scrappy, and to the point. And that's just the modern world we live in. That doesn't mean now that does not mean that people are dumber. That doesn't mean that people are getting slower or any insult in that matter. In
Yeah.
fact, we're getting better, we're getting smarter, we're getting faster, because if people can read the headlines really quickly and they're interested, they'll quickly click on their article and read it for themselves,
Okay.
because that's what social media is for. It's a tool for us to use, and we're becoming more and more advanced the more we use it.
And you
And
called it a natural evolution
yeah,
earlier. I don't know if we caught it
natural
while it was.
progression. Yeah, it's a natural progression in news. I mean, when you communicate, when you can only get so good at communicating in one way before it gets old and you improve. I mean,
Mhm.
everyone, yeah, if we would have peaked, technically the peak of communication was what? The telegram, telephone? What? Is there a peak in communication?
Holy crap, that's
Yeah,
crazy to think about.
there's always improvement, right?
Right.
People wanted to send messages faster. Texting was suddenly a big thing instead of a fad. All of
Uh-huh.
a sudden, emojis were a big thing. All of a sudden, our way of communicating evolved. And I feel like news took a while to keep up with the masses, which is why, for example, newspapers and print journalists struggled in the early 2000s to keep up with social media or keep up with digital era news sites.
Mm.
How do you keep up? The biggest way that news makes its money is through advertising. We don't
No,
sell
yeah.
anything. We sell you news,
Right.
something that you can Google, you know?
Right.
So, but obviously that's not what we do. We do more
Hmm.
than just deliver the news. We
Right.
keep it reported, we keep it balanced, we keep it unbiased, and we
Okay.
offer the best source of information by trusted sources. But that's the thing, right? How do you keep up giving trusted sources when there's bots sensationalizing news? For every
That's what you're
one
talking about.
good story, you're going to get drowned out by 30 fake ones. See what
Because
I mean?
that's what it is, right? It is, and what is the point of that? Like, what did they do? Like? Is it just advertisement? Is that what you say, or
Yeah.
like, why are they doing the bots? Like, what's the point of that?
To drown the access of information. When you have so much information,
Uh
how do you
huh.
tell the truth? Even if it's a blade, you can start out easily. It's like, okay, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's the truth. Okay.
Uh
And you
huh.
take your time checking to make sure it's the truth. And then
Right.
something with slightly similar but different information starts to blur the line. And all of a sudden, one person could write one thing and then another journalist could write something conflicted, or
Yeah.
even worse, whenever there's science that says one thing and then the news pushes it that it's this one thing, this new study did this, and all of a sudden there's a change, there's an added thing, like a few months later or a week later a new test said that this was wrong.
Uh huh. That. Uh huh. Uh huh.
How do you face that as a journalist? You just
Oh
told
my
so many
god.
people, hey, this is the thing that you should do, and then bam, new study.
And that's where you find the divide in people, and then that's where people start arguing.
People start arguing, right?
Uh huh.
And that's probably part of the thing that, for example, that I, as a journalist, take accountability for,
Yeah.
because I'm not a scientist. I
Uh huh.
can't I can't look at a I can't look at a I admit I have trouble looking at, scientific reports, and I have to make sure it's like, okay, how can I word this in a way that the person reading this can understand as much as I do? Because I'm not the one doing the abstract. It's like most people either read the abstract in a scientific paper that is not
Mm-hmm.
a scientist, or read
Mm-hmm.
the conclusion without looking at all the nuances behind it.
Yes, you just know the result of how. Okay,
Exactly. A
and
new
trying to build a
study
whole
says,
story
like, it
about
was a
around it.
famous, yeah, it was like a famous one that John Oliver even posted out. It was like, oh, chocolate gives you cancer. Like, somebody reported that new science said certain types of chocolate can cause increase in cancer, when that's not even the anything to do with the actual study. It has something to do with a particular protein that was in chocolate that could potentially, I don't even know how to explain it myself.
Right, it was complicated.
It's complicated.
Right.
How do
Oh
you
my
expect
god.
a journalist with no scientific background to actually come out as accurate? That's our job to do that. That's a challenge. And I
Right.
respect the people who do it. And that's part of the reason why I want to grow as a journalist
S-
myself, because I want to learn how to be a better writer that way, you know?
uh-huh.
Or
And
like, go ahead.
no, I was gonna ask it like and unbiased at the same time because you have your own emotions. I mean, you're human, and so let me ask you this: do you choose like what kind of news you? Obviously, you choose them, right? Or can you choose them? I guess is that the okay.
Yeah, if you're independent, I mean, you can choose what you want. If you're a freelancer, you can choose what you want. But most
Yeah.
of the time, I mean, as far as I know, you get assigned stories.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
the place that I worked at, the internship I worked at for my beginning of my journalist career, and after I graduated in 2019, I was assigned stories. I never really, I only got the choice of basically like one story, like one big
Okay.
project for my internship that I wanted to do, whatever I wanted. And occasionally, if something really speaks to you, you can definitely go in and be like, "Hey, I saw this event. I want to cover this, this, and this. I would love to
Okay.
do that." But other times, your producer or your boss or your editor in chief is going to go in and be like, "Hey, you got this story due. You got this story due. Why don't you go there and talk to this?" But that was my experience. I can't speak for any other journalists.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I've heard that they like give you stories, or that obviously if you're a freelancer, kind of like have you seen like Nightcrawler? Obviously
yeah,
crazy,
yeah. Obviously, that's
but yeah, very like I didn't know that that's how the like if you've never seen that movie, Nightcrawler is an amazing movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, freaking awesome
uh,
actor.
I haven't seen it, unfortunately. I'm not gonna
You
lie.
have not? No way.
I've been wanting to see it, but I keep thinking of Nightcrawler from X-Men, and I keep forgetting that that's not the movie. And I'm like, no, I need to see it because it's about a freaking freelance journalist and everything.
Oh man, it's such a good movie, man. I'm not gonna spoil anything, and it just basically it does everything that you, like what the behind the scenes of a journalist, basically, and which you already know, but it goes
Oh
in a
yeah,
really
but
dark way.
it exaggerates it because it's, of course, because it's a movie. But like,
Yeah, yeah.
it is kind of like what that's like. I One thing that I'm sure that anybody on the field can relate to. I mean, at least at the start, is that sense of nervousness
Mm,
of asking random people up the street, "Hey, can I get your opinion on something?" Or it's like, because you kind of feel like, at least for me, I feel like I'm intruding on somebody, and
yeah.
that's not. I'm just doing my job. You just got to
Right.
accept that you're doing your job, and part of the way I fight that is through confidence, to
Mm,
understand it's like, this is my job. You can tell me to fuck off. You can tell me no, thank you. I'll have to take it because that's my job, and you
mhm.
have to be confident. You can't just be like, Excuse me," because you kind of come off as even creepier that way, and I don't even.
Right.
You have to come out as, "Excuse me, how's it going?" Uh,
Yeah.
it's like, "I'm Andres Aguilar from MyPoint TV. Can I ask you a few questions? And just be friendly, but be confident in yourself. You're there because, of course, you're supposed to be there. That's
Mm.
that's a big lesson that I had to learn. Is like, act like you're supposed to be there. Of course, I'm supposed to be at right here at this bar at 1 a.m. trying to get footage of B-roll of a bartender, or like,
That's
of course I'm supposed to be here at the Superdome or of course or at a park or at a fair or whatever, like covering the news. You
So
just
there is a science almost to it, to like acting like that, so that people almost respond in a certain way, I guess, or is it more for you, I guess, or
it's
more for,
more for yourself really because
okay,
you have to kind of you kind of have to protect yourself but also kind of have a mutual understanding with the public really.
right,
Like you're there for a job and you don't have to talk to me at all. You just say, I know, thank you, I'm not interested, or whatever. Don't attack me. I'm not going,
don't, yeah,
obviously, but you have to be there. If you have to, let's say, like, I need to get word from people downtown
hmm,
and I need to get their opinion on an upcoming election. I have to be there downtown. I have to be there where a lot of people gather, or where in general. I have to be in public, asking the public questions, and who's
mm,
ever interested. I have to be
mm,
prepared to what kind of lunatics could potentially come to the freaking camera, and
yeah,
obviously, the reporter, depending on how crazy it can be, I'm
yeah,
not going to sit there and give him the airtime.
right,
But
right,
I am going to listen to what the public has to say if they allow me to. And that's the thing.
mm,
You have to be confident. You have to show up. You have to be well dressed. You have to look sharp and just smile, be friendly.
yeah,
Just get it over with. If you have that anxiety, just don't think about it. Get it over with. Once you're done, once you ask that first person and they actually respond, it's like, yeah, and you go through the questions and you say, thank you so much. Have a great day. And you move on. That's when the ball gets rolling. You see what I mean?
yeah, I
That's
see
the
that,
ball gets rolling. That's when you can know you can do this. And for a while, that was me every one that I
mm,
did for My Point TV. I was alone. Even
hmm,
when even when I was at the USA Today, even when I was um, shadowing a journalist who
hmm,
they were amazing, great people, I always
hmm,
felt intimidated. I always felt that sense of nervousness because I know that I had to do my job. I had to face people. I had to be that kind of bothersome guy
yeah,
um, for the news so that people can get informed. And that's why I loved covering soft news, like
uh-huh.
Thanksgiving, uh, giveaway, or like a park or like a fair. But when I had to cover hard news like the hostage situation, or at the synagogue, or
You had to cover that?
yeah, I didn't cover the hostage situation day.
Right.
I covered the next day. I
Okay.
went to
Holy moly.
the memorial, and we had to wait for the pastor to come out. We waited for like 2 hours, and the pastor would just come out and just say, "Thank you so much for waiting. I know how hard it is for y'all's job, but thank you," and that's it. And he left.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Was it like a eerie kind of feeling being there, or was it just like, what did it feel like? I mean, obviously,
It was a weird moment, but obviously I felt more sympathy and like more. I was I was actually listening to the memorial service. I know a lot of people were, mainly because they were waiting on the
right.
pastor, but or on the not pastor. I keep calling him pastor, on the rabbi.
A rabbi, yeah. Okay, okay, okay.
Apologize, rabbi.
No, it's cool. Well, not me. But yeah, sorry, Rabbi.
But
I'm,
we were
I'm
waiting.
saying it's okay to
We
the
were waiting
jokes.
on the rabbi
Uh,
to finish his service, but I was. It was a surreal moment to be there, because as intimidating as press releases can be, there's no tighter group that I've seen, because all journalists that are in there will help each other out, as far as I know. That's my
really?
But yeah, most journalists will help each other because we're all in the same struggle. We know what that's like, that anxiety, that just that that sense of urgency, also that
Mhm.
sense that you have to do your job, you have to be fast, you have to cover the
Right.
news quickly, you have to make sure everything goes right. There's so many things that could go wrong, and and this is only in basically small scale news in my account. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
even going to start talking about you know bigger corporations and like bigger news stations with bigger markets and what they have to deal with. That level of stress is insane.
I believe that.
I've heard so many stories from different people, from different journalists, that really were so overwhelmed by the work that a lot of people would take breaks or leave the stations and do other things because, one, they don't get paid enough, and two, broadcast journalism is on its way out, at least on television anyway, and being replaced with more faster online sources. And that does mean job reduction for journalists.
So how do you
It's
keep it like in this market? How would you keep it like, huh?
adapt. Just
Yeah.
adapt. As a journalist, you have to adapt.
Yeah.
Adapt, learn. This is hard truth, but you have to learn how to do three different jobs in one. You have
Mm-hmm.
to learn how to how to handle a camera, how to be an editor, how to be a reporter, how to write your own scripts, and even how to distribute and produce it. Because if you have all those things in your arsenal and you work different freelance jobs here and there, different stations here and there, that's how you pick up your career. Now, in traditional routes of journalism, for example, in broadcasting, I was taught that um, you start out in a market in some town, like not even
Mm.
close to the 100 mark, like the top 100 news markets in the U.S. You know,
Okay.
you start out in some very local area of the U.S. Some
Okay.
town, you know, and that's okay. That's part of it. Like the,
Right.
you know, and you learn. You get your first few years as a reporter or as an anchor or as a camera assistant or editor. You get your foot in the door. Doesn't matter how you get your foot
Mm-hmm.
in the door,
Mm-hmm.
and you deal with low salary, low payments, long hours, but you go through it. That's the angle of a journalist. You want to be passionate. That's
It's
take advantage of that. But
damn, that's
then you move
crazy.
on. You move on. You
Right.
get higher and higher. Eventually, you get into bigger and bigger networks with bigger and bigger markets. And eventually, that's how you get paid. That was a traditional route. That was a traditional route of journalism. A hard belief that once you made it, you were set. Once you grinded after 20, 30 years, you were going to be an anchor at CBS or at ABC News or whatever, Fox
Mm-hmm.
News for 20 years. That's not the case anymore. That's not the case at all. Um,
What is the case now is just what? Like
it's so volatile, especially
really?
on television. Yes, dude, anchors, even on ESPN, like I probably should say that. But even anchors in different stations,
Uh-huh.
uh, their jobs are extremely volatile. Once their
Right.
contract ends and they have no other job prospects or offers, you're done.
Mm.
You have to start somewhere. You maybe go down low and start your career again. A lot of people are not willing to do that after putting up for 10, 20 years of their life working at lower markets. They usually are expected to stay in higher markets because, of course, you put your work in, right? But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's not how it goes. People like younger hosts or more, or the
Hipster, more appealing to the markets or whatever, like the young people right now, and like
yeah. And most journalists don't know how to handle that. A lot of people don't know how to handle that, and my advice is to adapt.
mm-hmm.
You know, pick your experience. Pick your experience. Um, get the most out of your experience as possible because that's what people are looking for. Nobody cares anymore. Not many people care anymore about degrees. They
Yeah.
really they care about how many years or how many months, how many different companies have you done with this, or have you done with this, or have you done with this. Get
Mm.
as much experience, even if it's just freelance, even if it's just a little story here and there, if it's a copy here and there, if it's a print here and there, it's better than nothing. And that's
Right.
gonna stack you up on your resume. That's going to stack you up on different news sites, and they will see your passion. Um,
And
and
that's how you kind of got moving up and stuff, and like
yeah,
got to go to now Austin, Texas. He was here in Dallas, and then freaking left us over here to go chase his dream.
yeah, happy man. It's tough, but
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that, bro. I see that, bro. And you got to work with some interesting people. I'm sure. Like you said that you were working with like some people that had worked in other broadcasting pretty big and like news and stuff like that. And so you're getting to learn from some awesome people. I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
it's incredible
I,
what
I
I'm learning.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, about like kind of like a on a downside with journalism. What has been like the craziest experience that you've had? Like, yeah, obviously the TED Cruz is pretty crazy. I mean, you've talked about some pretty interesting ones already. I just want to see if there's another one that kind of pops to your mind.
One of the crazier ones was the one that I upset the then mayor president of Lafayette, Louisiana, Joel Rogan.
You didn't.
He was he wasn't happy that
Oh
he
my
wasn't
god, that is awesome.
happy. Yeah, because okay, basically, this was my final semester in college, right? And I was covering politics.
Forte or thing. Sorry, yeah.
That was my focus on for one of my classes, my TV production class, and that was the hardest class I ever took of anything in my life. But I will always love that class. But
Uh huh.
I had to talk to Mayor Robideau about his upcoming reelection campaign. He had been very quiet on whether or not he was going to go for reelection. And after about a week of me trying to get a hold of him, get a hold of his office, get it, try to get an interview set up with his campaign manager or with his secretary, uh, didn't work out. So one day, this was the start of a festival that's really big in Lafayette called Festival International. It's a
Uh
big
huh.
party, essentially. It's like the biggest party concert event of the year in Lafayette.
Lafayette, is that where like the New Orleans or that's where like the main street or whatever, the famous street, like Mardi Gras kind of thing, or
No,
different?
Lafayette, Louisiana, the town of Lafayette.
Lafayette. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Lost.
it's the college town. Well, it's the town of Lafayette, Louisiana, where
Okay, okay, gotcha.
and
Okay,
I had to interview the mayor of that town for his reelection, right?
okay.
And during that festival international, during the start of it, City Hall likes to put a flag to start the season, so to speak, like the week before to celebrate and everything to hype up. And Mayor Robideau was there. So I go, I cover the event, and he asks questions with a small press, me included, and you know the different people, different journalists are asking him about the event and how he feels and everything and how excited he is, and I get the last question. and I
Okay,
I literally I know no one has asked him about his damn reelection, so I'm sitting there like, okay,
because you're not supposed to, or what? Or
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why nobody was talking about it. So I was like, am I gonna have to be the only? Okay, fine. Mayor Robideau, I have to ask you: What are your thoughts about your upcoming reelection? During this time, I know we're celebrating, and he cuts me off, and he goes, son, we're here to talk about the festival, and he just takes it off. You can visibly see how upset he is, and he basically just storms off. Like he doesn't obviously like with not like not
oh my god,
he was like immediately cuts me off and walks away. And I'm sitting there like I get pats on the back from the
you
different
got Pat.
I got pats on the back from the different reporters that were like, you did good, kid.
God, you're part of the pack now.
Oh god. I
Oh
felt
my god.
I felt so bad. I was like, did I that's like is the ground gonna swallow me all right now?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, CIA is gonna come get you or something, or
No, but 2
uh-huh.
days later, he drops out of the race.
No
two
way.
days later, he drops out of the race. It's like he just doesn't want to go for reelection. And I guess he didn't want to talk about it.
And you asked him that question.
I asked him that question.
Oh my god. That is amazing. If anybody ever asks if you can have influence, yes, you can. Because that is freaking cool.
Exactly. Yeah. No. That's one of the funnier ones. That one was one of the first times that I really felt like a journalist, like an actual, like I could actually do this.
Well, I
Like,
mean, dude, I bet you like some people that we probably see around, I don't know where in Lafayette, like some famous people, like they patted you on the back, or like some sort of reporter that's like all these ABCs, one of those patted you on the back, basically
I
saying good job.
wish, man, I wish, but hey, it's all part of the process, right? I ended up
Oh,
even in that same year, about a month later. No, no, yeah, yeah, about a month later, I just gotten back from Disney World, from Mardi Gras break, and I had to do a big story. And I had to do a it was a final one of the final projects too, and I had to interview the lieutenant governor of Louisiana. What was his name? I'm blanking out on me. Billy Nunn.
literally.
Billy Nungesser, Lieutenant Governor
Wow. Okay.
Billy Nungesser. That's right. And he was up for re-election as well in 2019, early 2019. And basically, literally the day after I got off the plane back home in Louisiana and Lafayette, I immediately basically called the campaign manager. And I was like, hey, I would love to set up a quick interview. And where are y'all going, or where are y'all currently headed? And they told me, hey, we're gonna be at the natural, or we're gonna be at a museum in New Orleans. Can you meet us there around 3:30? I'm like, yeah, okay, I can do that. And it was like 11 o'clock in the morning at that time, so I was like, I had to
Uh
drive
huh.
3 hours to make it there,
Oh
uh,
my gosh. Okay.
2 to 3 hours.
Uh huh.
And I bolt. It was rainy, and literally 15 minutes before I get there, 15 minutes. I'm in New Orleans. I finally made it after all the traffic. I'm stressed. I got to do this. If not, I fail and I won't graduate at all.
Oh shit! It was like that.
It was like this wasn't a final project, but this was one of the last projects, and
Okay.
I needed to
Okay.
do it. And
Okay.
uh, the campaign manager calls me, and she goes, "Actually, we're gonna go ahead and head to the Superdome a little early. Can you meet us at the Superdome in New Orleans?" And we're like, and I was like, coincidentally, where I was in traffic, the Superdome was only 5 minutes away. So I was
Oh
like,
wow. Okay.
miracle. I was like, miracle. Yes, yeah, I can totally do that. Somehow I get off on Canal Street, and like, which is a busy street in downtown New Orleans. And I find a parking spot in the side, like next to a park where, like, I don't even know. It was all in a blur. I was such in a hurry. I park. I don't even pay for the parking ticket or anything. I just grab my stuff and I start running like 3 blocks away, full speed. I don't even know where I parked. I close the door. I get there and I get to the entrance of the Superdome, and I beat the lieutenant governor. I made it on time, and I get to get a one-on-one with the lieutenant governor,
Oh no way.
Billy
A
Nunn.
one-on-one
Yeah, at the
exclusive.
parking lot, basically at the entrance to the Superdome. It was a very nice. He was a very professional guy. I'm sitting there, literally like, okay, what is?
No way.
And he's like, take a second, son.
Oh my god, I cannot believe this.
Take a second. I asked him about his campaign, and then mostly about his what are his thoughts, what he's currently doing there, and what are his thoughts about the governor as well, and but overall, that really was that was the story that got my shit together. Essentially, that's the one that
Mm,
really was like afterwards. I was like, I will never forget the feeling of walking home.
really?
I will never forget that feeling of walking back after everything. After I get that interview, it was only 5 minutes. It was very quick because he had to go. I will never forget that sense of pride that you get, or you're just like, I just got an interview. I got my shit together. Really?
Yeah.
I went from Lafayette this morning, like
That's
know,
freaking awesome, dude.
with all my depression and everything, to
Yeah,
actually do that, and that really inspired me to pursue journalism slowly but surely. I was still not fully committed to it, but that really woke me up. No,
that's a W in journalism, I'd call it, man. That is a high. I mean, that is a high level person, dude. That is not. I mean, he's in charge of what military, right?
well, no, lieutenant governor. He's basically
Lieutenant Governor. Sorry.
he's he's basically the vice president, like the second in command.
Okay, there you go. There goes my ignorance. That's crazy, man.
No, but
Dude,
like
that's
it is what it is, man. I love what I do. I'm really thankful for my teachers over there at UL, especially the teacher from that class in particular, Mrs. Bartholomew.
hmm
Um, I she was the one who pushed us, all of us in that class, to go beyond what we could do. That
how did
was
how did she do that though? Like, 'cause, I mean, it's kind of I found some good teachers. They're like far few in between, man.
right.
And especially in colleges now, everybody just kind of looking out for themselves, their own research and stuff. But someone that actually cares, especially that you like, because you're a critic. You're a critic.
Well, here's the thing. Like she was extremely strict, and she was
Mm,
very disciplined. She took no excuses. Very, very rigid, high standards, and if you either matched it or you didn't. There's no in between.
right.
And at first, everyone, for obviously everyone can be like, "Oh my God, it's way too much," especially for my last class. All I want to do is graduate and just start my life, right? But if you actually push yourself, you actually go through it. You just see what she has to offer, and she will respond in kind. She will respect you. My teacher respected me at the end, despite me being quite troublesome. Gotta
Quite.
admit, uh,
I
wasn't
love it.
wasn't the model student. Not even close. Okay, it wasn't even close. But I finished. I
That's awesome,
finished.
bro.
And I graduated, and I couldn't be more thankful to her because she really brought out my work ethic in ways that I couldn't ever imagine.
Really. She pushed you, huh? As you said.
She did. She did. A lot of
That's
teachers over
cool.
there pushed me, but she really was the one who like, get your shit together, man.
What is that with like teachers, man? Like there's some teachers that I just remember that I'm just like, dude, like right now, one of my biggest ones is Paul Jessen. I still remember him from Collin College. He was my business speech class.
Wow.
And of course I loved it, eh, and I was just kind of starting to, kind of get that. But what is it about teachers, man? Like that you
Usually,
just
oh, sorry.
no, yeah, that go, yeah, you're good.
Um, for me, at least specifically, with my experience with teachers, is that the hardest ones are the ones that I fail are the ones I learned the most from. No lie, because
Say that again. The
the
ones that
ones,
you,
yeah, the ones that fail me or
uh
the
huh.
ones that are like the hardest ones are the ones I most remember or learn from.
Really?
I've learned more. Yes, I learned more about writing in that class and like the harder classes than the ones that I would just ace because or like just do well in. And I feel like that's because you just go through the motions. I mean, all all going to school is, if you really want to just simplify it, is following directions.
Right.
Learn to
Right.
follow the best directions and you get a grade for it. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the
So
ones
it's just rigid. Like it's good. It's a good training wheels kind of thing. Or
I mean, it's a syllabus. It's standardized.
right.
It's supposed to be
Right.
one size fits most, so that they
Right.
can push you out to the working world.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point. But the ones
Mm-hmm.
that kind of push you into a little more than what you're used to, or the ones that are a lot harsher than you think they are, that's like, hey, I could easily go to this other teacher and pass the class, or you could actually, challenge
Mm-hmm.
yourself a little bit and really push the limits of what you can do and what you can gain, even if that
Mm-hmm.
means that's like uncomfortable or stressful or anything like that.
So you learn to like the stress. You learn to like the negative, I guess, of it.
Yeah, yeah, in a way. I mean,
In a way, yeah. Sorry.
here, I'm not sitting here telling, saying be a masochist or like
Right.
you gotta really grind. No, no. It's about like for me, it's like I learned more about journalism through failing
Mm.
because I would know how not to be. You know what I mean? So those failures stick with you, so that you don't do them again.
You said something that literally, like, my mentors and a bunch of smart people say, like, basically learn from your failures and you don't take them as failures. It almost sounds like, or
Yeah, no,
it's
you
like
don't.
you're comfortable with it. And so the people that are not like that, what the heck, what goes through your mind? Like whenever you said like you like the failure, I don't know how you said it, but you like the.
Well, it's like it's not about failing, right? It's about learning to learn. It's about learning from your failures and not be afraid to fail. It's not about. It's not. If you fail, you fail. Like that's
Hmm.
it's part of it. You
Hmm.
can't get better if you don't fail. That's just a fact. Like, you can't
Right.
get better as whatever you're doing if you don't learn how to handle failure.
Because most people look at it as that sucks, something bad happened to me, but it sounds like you're saying, holy crap, I know where not, that's what you said, I know where not to go.
Yeah, I
Like
know what
how,
not
why
to
is,
do,
what is that,
but what
yeah,
not to
what does that
write.
mean?
So,
And what is.
for example, if I fail at an article, right? I know how not to write an article now. Now I can do it better. Now I know, hey, don't bury the lead. Uh, don't be so over dramatic in this one thing. You're reporting about the objective facts. Bam.
Mhm.
Then, but if you're acing them all the time, then more than likely you assume that what you're doing is correct and you don't grow from it. You
Correct.
develop patterns. And while one person may like your standard or your, like one teacher may be like, all right, you're doing great. Your writing is fine, just A all across the board. Eventually you're going to be challenged.
Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
people who do well in the professional world are the best at adapting to those challenges. Because
Adapting.
if you're used to winning all the time, or if you're used to doing things from the bare minimum, which
Hmm.
I was for a long time, like doing the bare minimum for a long time, I would not only reap what I sowed,
Hmm.
I would essentially be punished and reminded, hey, this is as far as you can go based on the effort you give.
Holy shit, that's deep.
Nah,
I mean,
because
no, 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 that's good. I mean, that's really good, bro. Like this, like it makes sense. It makes total sense what you're saying. Because if and that's one of the things that I run in with, like a lot of people that I meet and stuff like that. Because and shoot, that's why I'm here. That's why I like hanging out. This is why I like talking to you, because you understand that, and not many people do. You know, it's like they, if you, if you keep doing the syllabus thing, at some point it's not gonna work, kind of thing.
yeah,
You know,
and you have
but
to learn to grow with the times, and that's why I always say, I mean, I always tell people, if you can't get what you want right now, find a way to get there.
shit.
Find a way to get there. Whether it be through luck, networking, hard work, do whatever you need to do. Do not put any pressure on yourself at all. Just let go. Let go of the pressure and learn to be confident in yourself. Learn to understand failure and grow from that failure.
Hmm.
And
I mean, you.
it slowly builds up. It slowly builds up. It's day
No
by
kidding.
day type of thing.
And we had a conversation even the other day, like, not to get too personal, but like it was about, coming in at we each other. I mean, because we knew each other from Honduras, and then I didn't see you for like I don't know how many years, and then now kind of reconnected again, and it was at really interesting times. And dealing with the ups and downs of human beings. We all go through that crap, and I had them too, and it's crazy that you came in and now in this podcast, and I want to say it on the microphone too, for everybody to hear. Like, Andres Aguilar is one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, is because he inspired me to get on and not be scared. I saw his stories and everything, and it wasn't more of like, he can do it, I can. It was more of like, holy crap, I like what he's doing. And dude, I mean, you kill it out there, man. You really do.
No,
What is your website so that the people listening to can go see your stuff?
definitely. My the stories I publish are on mypoint.tv.
Uh huh.
They're on local news site. Basically, we're trying to be a YouTube for news type of thing where independent journalists can come in and create their own stories and get their own traction
See,
in it.
that's really cool. Whenever you first told me about that, that's super interesting. How did you find that?
Not gonna lie, in the beginning, I was very skeptical about it. I was like, "Who is this? My Point TV? Okay," um, but I gave it a shot, and you know what? Like, they're very nice. They're extremely professional company. They really treat their contributors with respect. There was actually incredibly, I had just a week ago. There was a premiere of a documentary called Izzy Cox fighting with the devil or fighting
Uh huh.
what was it? Izzy Cox fighting with the devil. That's right.
Uh huh.
And it was a documentary about a local musician here in Austin. And
Hmm.
one of the top contributors from My Point TV, was the director. They sponsored him. The My Point TV sponsored him to do the documentary for him.
Holy shit!
So the fact that they did that to like they had that much faith in the director, and I know the guy. He's an amazing person. And he's a very passionate creator, and his documentary was hopefully they're working on getting copies for everybody. So I'll show it to you one day
Yeah.
when it's
Oh,
available.
it's not even out yet. It's not.
It was premiered at a local it was premiered at a local theater here in Austin.
Okay. 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 I got you.
It was incredible. It was one of the more interesting type of musical documentaries that I've ever seen. But the fact
Okay.
that My Point TV
Hmm.
was the sponsors, one of the biggest sponsors for that,
That's crazy.
made me really happy because it shows that they have faith in their creators. They have faith on the content creators that they have. And I can't wait to see more of them. You know.
Hmm. Hmm. I love that. Yeah, because I always look at I always love whenever you share me your stories and stuff like that, and it's like my point. This is Andres. Wait, how does it go? What's your?
I'm Andres Aguilar from My Point TV, and that's how I started.
Oh, I love that, man. So familiar,
Again,
and I love it.
it's like from My
It's
Point
catchy.
TV, I'm Andres Aguilar. That's how I see it.
That's how. There you go. That's it.
That's always been the thing.
That's the catchphrase. Did you come up with that, or is that like?
No, no, they told me a long time ago. It's like make sure you say that every time. And it's like
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
I was like, okay, okay.
I mean, it sounds. I mean, whenever you say it, it's like I like light up. I don't know why. I'm just like, that's cool. I know him. He's doing news. I know him. Oh, that's
I
funny,
love
man.
your podcast, man. You don't have to thank me. I knew that I've always pictured you as a podcast host, as some sort of radio host. You always had that personality. You always had
Oh,
that
dude.
like larger than life personality, man. I'm glad that you're finally bringing it to life. Honestly,
It really. I mean, all of it. I'm honestly every time I'm going into a podcast, I'm bloody scared. Like I'm just like
It's-
completely terrified, and even like until like halfway through, I'm like, okay, this is good. Like, but I mean, more than anything, this is why I wanted to invite you because you're so obviously family, and we are. I mean, you're the one that taught me about. I was asking you the other day at the party that we were at, stuff about the podcast and stuff that I'm doing. And man, it's getting on guests and everything and staying on the ball and stuff like that. All this,
for
it's
you, let me turn it around.
yeah,
My old journalistic
uh-huh.
itches scratching real quick.
Yeah, of course,
What
please
has
do.
been what has been the biggest challenge for your podcast personally?
I want to keep it fun and and interesting. So I'm finding it now more difficult. Like, okay, who do I bring on? Because I want variety. Like, I want uh from like right now, like Alaska journalists. I want people from at some point from Africa, from Europe, or something like that. So it's like I've been hitting up people, and some reply, some don't, and it's kind of like a toss in the air, and I don't want to be like too pushy, either, because I'm not trying to be like too salesy, because this is like fun thing.
I feel you.
So it's been a man, it's been a ride, but it's been fun most of the time. Like people that I've been like interviewing have been like people that I've known for a minute now, comfortable with and stuff like that, and luckily they've all been extreme professionals, kind of like yourself, so it's really nice to be able to associate myself with people like you, and people like
Likewise,
for yeah.
honored.
Again, this is why this is happening, because it's been my most of my like I like talking to people, I like connecting with people. That's really why.
I feel you. And
Yeah.
hopefully, I get to expand on more things. I don't just want to be a journalist. I want to do something like I want to do more types of media. It's like
Hmm.
my own YouTube show, documentaries, maybe even movies in the next 10, 20 years.
No kidding, huh? Because that's where it goes.
You try to evolve, you try to push what you want out of life. You want to go into camera. Well, what are the ways that you can go into camera? What are the best ways?
Right.
That's the beauty of media. To me, that was the thing that captured me. It's like I had so many dreams. It's so many dreams, right? Like, you ever
Hmm.
had that? Is like you one day or maybe one year you want to be an astronaut, another year you want to be
Yeah,
a fireman, another year you want to be
totally.
something like that. I was like, I
Yeah.
didn't know where to start for me. I didn't know. I had no idea. I was like, because I knew that the second that I picked the thing, I was going to have to sacrifice a lot of other things. I didn't want
Uh-huh.
to do that. I really didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I found out that media, in like, especially in broadcasting and media, you could do a lot of things, especially learning through communication, learning the best ways to talk to people, be more sociable, can land you a lot of different positions. Also,
Hmm.
learning how to do camera editing or camera work can lead you to go into sports broadcasting or just photography or just like, or just like editing or just, or if you want to be in front of the camera, behind the camera, if you want to go even into acting in some way, shape, or form, you can.
Hmm.
If you want to put your foot in the door as a production assistant and then get an acting coach and learn
Yeah, no,
the ins and
incredible.
outs of doing it, you learn to become a lot more adaptable. Because if you just are so single-minded, and
Hmm.
I can either be the star actress or the star actor or the star quarterback or
Yeah.
nothing, then
Yeah.
you're gonna fail, dog.
Totally.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
because yeah,
Good luck. But if you say to yourself,
that's
I
the millennial mindset for
want to,
sure.
exactly.
Entitlement.
Like, well, if you really want to be the star of the movie, make your own
Uh-huh.
movie. But you can't just make yourself the star quarterback of a make believe.
Yeah, 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 it's true.
But
Yeah.
if you want to say, I want to be in the NFL, I want to be in football, I want to do what I can
Hmm.
to do my part to help grow the thing I love.
Hmm.
Find your own unique route. Be inspired. Be inspired, but do it on your own way. It's all about
Right.
setting your own momentum so that you can keep going. You know,
Yeah, I feel that.
that's mostly how I do it. I'm super happy about it. I couldn't be prouder with how I've lived, all the experiences, all the work that I've done.
Yeah.
Even outside of media, even outside of journalism, I did work in ads. I worked in ads for 9 months, knowing barely anything about ads. It's like they
That's
gave,
awesome.
when people gave me a shot,
Mhm.
I only had journalistic experience. I had no idea how to make graphics. I had no idea how to make
Uh-huh.
proper YouTube videos or anything like that. Or they
Yeah.
taught me, and
Yeah.
I grew out of that. I grew into evolving my journalism that way too.
Right.
Make it easily digestible, or make it better, or make my editing better. And that's what it is. take advantage of what you can right now and then grow.
I feel that, man.
You know,
Yeah, I love that. I love that mindset. It's a, it's like a hustler mindset almost, but like in the best way possible.
yeah. I am personally, I do have to say, as much as this is coming from a workaholic,
Right.
and so it's probably a little hypocritical. I don't like the grind mentality. I don't.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
I think
Yeah,
that
because you corrected yourself even earlier. You were like, "Oh, grind, grind, grind." Like you kind of like,
I don't want to be inconsistent. I do believe in adaptability, find your own unique route. But
uh
I
huh,
always, and I said this earlier,
uh huh,
I do not like the grind set, or I do not like putting pressure on yourself.
uh huh.
We all do that. We all want to be the next level. We all want to be better. We all want to live happier lives. But to a lot of people that means grind, grind, grind. What are you grinding? What are you grinding? Are you gonna grind a marketing company like
Yeah.
extra hours a day? Like you're really gonna grind on that serving job, dude. Like really, you're gonna grind that extra 50 cents every day. Like no. Like what does that mean? I've always hated that. I've always hated
Uh-huh.
those entrepreneurs that were like,
Yes.
you just got to grind for like 7 years and then eventually just open up a surf shop in Maui or whatever the fuck.
At some point, that was me, and I'm ashamed of it now.
I feel that. It was,
You're good.
I love that idea because I was a workaholic. I love the idea.
Right.
But it always, the thing I don't like about it is that it always
Yeah,
makes you feel like you're not good enough,
that's
no
true.
matter what. You're like,
I've definitely. Oh, I've gotten away from it too. Definitely, I feel that.
and two, you're kind of tunneling yourself into this. You're limiting yourself when you don't put so much stress on your life and you really focus on your mental health and you really focus on what you want to do. That drive by itself is going to mean more to anybody than being forced to grind.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that when you work a job you hate,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it time goes slower. You hate it. It just burns you out so much more.
Mm-hmm.
But when you try to find a job you love, you know, you don't feel it. It makes it when you work the job you love,
Mm-hmm.
time flies and
Ah, that's what you're saying. Okay, I see.
days
I see.
go
Yeah,
fly by. You don't feel the energy. You don't feel how much you've worked. In fact,
that's true.
that is a danger. When you find the job you love, you have to be careful that to
Too
not
much heart.
work, to not over,
Oh,
to not put too
oh yeah.
um, into it because you'll burn yourself out and it'll turn into the job you hate, and you don't want that. And also, there's also that pressure of keeping up with the job you love, right? Because there's colleagues around you and you want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that your job is secure and everything. That's always a natural fear. But if you have a balance, you don't put so much pressure on yourself. You remind yourself that, say, hey, this is only what you want to do now. If you ever want
Mm-hmm.
to change and you
You
have the
can.
ability to,
So most people don't think like that though, because it's like or they think in terms of commitment or in terms of like marrying something that they're doing. When in it's, but
the
then that goes
problem is,
into like,
I'm
uh-huh,
single, man. I don't have kids.
right,
I don't have a wife to worry about. I can say all these things knowing that I don't have like extreme responsibilities. So I know
right,
I am very well aware that not everyone can have this
hmm,
mentality, and I'm not going to sit here
no,
think,
no, no. But I love it. I mean, it's so healthy.
no, I appreciate that. No, but I agree. Like, but to me, is like I understand that not everyone can be that way. I
Uh
understand
huh.
that it's like
Uh huh.
everyone has their own life and their own struggles, and we all seek
Hmm.
to find that one answer, that one size fits most answer. If
Hmm.
you grind hard enough, you can do it. That's not the case. That's not
That's
the case
true.
at all.
Yeah, because you could be grinding at the wrong thing and
Exactly.
be
Or
digging the wrong hole.
about if you
Uh-huh.
if those people, I'm not going to say names, but if those motivational speakers actually get specific for once, that's what. All right, when actually whenever you're talking about grinding or working your ass off, working at what, dude? What? Tell me, point to
Oh,
me what I need to work at, and I promise you, I'll shut the fuck up and do that, and I'll invite you to my surf shop. I'll invite you. I'll give you my first ever surfboard built by me when I retire in 9 years. All right.
oh my god, I love that. Oh my god! And you know what's funny? Because I feel the same way about that. Because I am more elusive now. I guess you'd call that more flowy, more. Because I used to be that mindset, man. It's just all about grind, grind, grind and stuff. And I was just like, man, I am worn
You
out, dude.
you lose yourself, man. You lose what you want. You don't even know what you even want anymore. You're just like, I just want to relax. I don't even
Yeah,
do anything. But then you're made to feel bad about that. You're made to
yeah,
feel bad about liking stupid shit. It's like, dude,
yeah.
who are you to judge? I like to
That's
watch
true.
TV every now and again or watch YouTube channels all the time. That doesn't mean that I work any less harder than anybody else.
That's
You know what
true.
I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
to me, to anybody looking to grind, just focus on, like, ask yourself, what are you grinding on?
Mm-hmm.
What are you grinding on? What, you want to be a
Mm-hmm.
better people person? Learn to network
Mm-hmm.
better.
Mm-hmm.
Go out, be
Mm-hmm.
awkward, and learn to be less awkward over time. It's about
Aha.
practice and repetition. You want to grind on learning better math or learning more ways of reporting or more ways of doing business? That's on you. But don't put so much pressure on yourself. Like, ask yourself, what are you grinding about?
That is true, man.
You know, what are you grinding on? And if you have a good reason, I'm not going to stop you. Go for it.
Yeah.
Figure that
Yeah.
out.
Because you even said it, you said I'll shut the fuck up if you can tell me what you're grinding on.
If you tell me right now, hey, I'm grinding on actually networking, maybe I could do more events and maybe I can focus on grinding on networking, maybe for
Uh-huh.
months, right? Building up my clientele, and then the next few months I'll be grinding on sales. That's a
Mm-hmm.
great plan right there. That's a
Hell
great
yeah.
plan right there. But
That's
don't forget, it's like if a day goes wrong, don't blame it on yourself. Have a
yeah.
drink,
There's a new one
you
coming
know.
up tomorrow, hopefully. But most of the time, yeah.
It's like, hell
uh,
yeah. It's like if things go wrong or if things go right, it's all about how you handle it. And
mm-hmm.
if you're grinding and if you're and I talked to, for example, Bruce Jones from Jones Productions. I produced their podcast,
Oh
and
no shit. Okay.
he, great.
Wait, you produce podcasts and you actually like this one?
Yeah,
Fuck yes.
I know.
You guys heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Andres Aguilar approves. He's a critic.
I've done it pre-recorded like this, or like usually, I set up two cameras there in front, talking with their mics and everything, and I edit it and everything. He even Bruce Jones, he's a self-made, he's a business owner. He works at a music recording and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He told me and that it took years. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of
Mm-hmm.
ways to innovate and ways to grind, to not give up on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
eventually the work pays off, like eventually, he's still in that trying to build it up himself type of thing, but
But obviously in a more advanced.
he's 8 years in.
Yeah.
He's got all his paperwork and everything. He's got his
Right.
studio. He's got his uh,
Oh, he's
everything.
chilling. Yeah, he's good.
He's chilling, but like
Yeah.
he's still growing as a business,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
but he even tells me, I was like, yeah, like it is about grinding, but it also is about not giving up on yourself. Don't put too much pressure because there's
Mm-hmm.
so many days that he wants to give up, that he just man, fuck,
That's
I'll just work side job or like a full time.
mm-hmm.
I'll just do this in my spare time. You can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, right now I just got back from my new job. Now you're talking about like being good at jobs and stuff. I just got back. I'm doing this now, and so
How is that,
it's
man?
bro, it's crazy cool. Like it's good. I like the people around me, and it's also connecting me with like our culture, which is crazy. So it's like
Nice.
trifecta, and and they're paying me for it, which is
Oh,
really
yeah,
cool. And I
it's
get to talk to
yeah,
people and be nice. You know what's crazy? I keep saying this even at work because I've been sales my whole life,
right.
like for like 10 years, 10 plus years at this point. There's not a thing that I didn't do in the past 10 years. 10 years, bro, that was not geared towards sales. Nothing. And now I have a job that's more of like administrative. It's for those listening. It's I work at the Guatemalan consulate, and it's interesting because I get to see and hear a bunch of really crazy stories, cool stories, and all that stuff. But what was I gonna say? Forgot what I was gonna say.
Now you were talking about you were working in the Guatemalan consulate, and
Yes. Uh, so the point is I got that job, or I'm working there, and I really like it.
mhm.
And man, I literally forgot what your question was, but this is why I like asking.
No, no,
No, just kidding. No, go ahead.
no, no.
But
Like I feel that. No, well, what I was gonna say is like, how's the new job going for you? Like in that experience, especially going from sales to administrator.
there you go. That's what I was saying. So yeah, from sales to administrator, it's crazy because I like it, and I keep telling the people at work, because I'm like talking to people, and then they're listening to me, and I don't have to like convince them to do something. They already want to do it. Like it's just like transactional kind of thing. It's very weird. Like I don't have to sell you anything, and that's for me is odd. So I'm like on the phone. Sometimes I hang up, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. But I like sales as well. I just wanted to do something that was just kind of away from that, so I could, build this and mark my other businesses, whatever it is that I'm doing, insurance and books or whatever. So uh, yeah, it's been really freaking nice, man. It's been really nice. It's been calming. It's been obviously foundational. Like regular money, because sales is like always a roller coaster. Insurance. I mean, I wrote a book on my story with insurance and been crazy. I've been trying to build up since then, So um, it's been nice. It's been really nice, man. And I like the people working there. It's connecting. I'm literally going into another country. So I'm going to Guatemala there, and so it's I'm don't and everything Spanish there, like nothing English, like the stories, bro. Oh my god, the
Can you talk
stories,
about them
man.
or
So I was trying to figure out. I think I can a little bit. Like
but wait, did you sign an NDA at all?
I signed an act,
So okay,
and I don't know exactly what that means, but it's basically saying like I can't really say anything specific
right, but
like about it, but I can kind of kind of like doctors, like they can tell stories about their
yeah,
patients to like
change
about, but
names
you just can't, yeah, that crap. So I mean, I've seen anywhere from like people coming in that their husbands abused them. Like this is like the first like stuff that, or the first place that they come to here in Dallas, Texas, to deportations, to people talking from prisons to I mean, it's some crazy stuff, man, some crazy stuff.
or
But
crazy.
it's and we're the people that they talk to for like help.
Right.
So they're calling us, and I'm sitting here like, okay, so there was a lady the other day that called and was saying about, she literally said, this is the first time I had ever heard something like this. She's like, my son just crossed the desert, and I don't know where he's at. They're talking about the Mexican desert, crossing into the to Texas, to the United States illegally. And I'm just like, this was the first time they caught me off guard, and I'm just like, what's the name of the person? And I just literally wrote it down on a little piece of paper because I had no idea what to do. I said, hold on, because because I know the phone system, so I'm like, okay, give me 1 second. Let me place you on a brief hold. I put her on hold. I'm just like, I just like, okay,
Yeah,
okay, what do I do? So I'm just like, and so I kind of I asked like the bosses and stuff like that. So, like, luckily we have like leadership there and everything. They're freaking amazing people. Like like this is one thing about working there. The best bosses I've ever met so far. One of the best bosses I've ever met. Like seriously, because in the sense of I like to. see like freaking chemistry between groups and stuff like that, how the leader acts, how their subordinates acts. I mean, I've read a lot about it. I'm a nerd for business and group management and all that stuff. And this guy, he's actually in the Dallas News. His name's Jorge Contreras. Freaking awesome guy.
Mhm.
Um,
He's
he's the head consul. He's the head consul guy, dude. Amazing person, bro.
That's
And like just kind of lets the group kind of be and stuff like that. He wants more of like the young, like more advanced, adaptive, people and stuff like that. But um, freaking, it's been nice. It's been nice, but crazy stories, man. I wish I could give more detail, but I can't.
I know.
I feel like I'll get in trouble. But just to keep it interesting,
I'm getting the scoop right now. Hold on, it's like
do what?
I'm getting the scoop now. It's like it turned around.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So,
Talk about those stories,
yeah.
Totally not an independent investigation.
Dude, so here's something crazy that happened earlier. That has to do with the journalist. While I was on the phones, they were interviewing like the vice consul over here about something that happened in I can't remember what city and stuff like that. It was just like some drama that had created.
They were getting interviewed.
Yes, 100%, and they had to like defend, like kind of to the public and stuff like that. So it's a lot like that, and
Right.
it's very. I want to call. I even wrote this in my journal. It's very like because people, you tell someone like you work at the consulate, it's like, oh wow, like you're at a consulate and stuff like that. So it's very entitling, I guess you can call it, but it's very corporate. Also, 100%.
Right.
100%. 100% corporate. 100%. Like vibe and everything. The whole. Wow. It's crazy.
So do you work in do you have your own desk, or do you have like a cubicle?
Yeah. I got my own little desk computer. I actually got pretty lucky because the place is fairly new. So it's my own little desk. I have literally I gotta send you the picture actually. It's like right there on here. I'll send it to you right now so you can get your reaction. Just kidding.
Sure.
But here you go. There you go. Like literally the Guatemalan flag and the US flag right by each other. Like that's my background. See if you can get it. But it's crazy. It's really cool there. The people like we have like people calling in from I don't know, like all the states and stuff like that. We're like in charge of the north part of Dallas, like from Dallas up, like Amarillo, all that area.
Oh shit, I got the picture. Okay.
It's cool, right?
I like it. I like both the flags right there. It's
Dude, that color is so pretty. Like that, like the prettiest blue ever, and like the flags look so cool.
Okay, can I ask you something?
Yes.
You have I? Okay, let me bring something real quick. Okay. Like I bought. So I got the Honduran flag. Gift by my brother. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's so light blue. I'm holding it backwards.
It is light blue. I can't really see with the.
Yeah, I know it's not great with the lighting, but
no, but I can tell that it's like more than just.
The old Honduran was royal blue. It was a darker blue.
Yeah. Like this, yeah. No. You're right. It's a dark blue. That's not the blue that's supposed to be.
Not the blue, and
that's like Arabic or something.
I know. It's like clone, man.
Lithuania.
It's like they slowly say, like imagine like the red, white, and like imagine that color in the American flag. Like it would be off.
Exactly. It's like it's been in the sun too long or something.
Yeah, it's like it's been washed too long. It's just like faded.
I love it, man.
It's like that. I was like, "Am I living in the Mandela effect? Like, have I been thinking this whole time it was just like dark blue?"
I literally just learned about the Mandela effect the other day too. By the way, that's so weird that you're bringing it up. Oh my gosh, it's so creepy. Like how we remember things and how they actually are. Like what?
The one that freaked me out were the Berenstain Bears.
Oh my god! Yes, I've seen that. I've definitely seen that.
Weren't they like? They used to be called Berenstain, like AIN or EIN, and a lot of people were not really sure if they were Jewish or not.
Oh, it's something like that. And then there were,
It
what was the
was
big one? There was like corn flakes or something like that, or like
weird. It was like,
Fruit Loops, or it's like or something like or
yeah, it was like it was Fruity Loops or Fruit Loops,
uh-huh.
something like that.
Uh-huh.
People
Yeah,
were
that stuff.
people were always confused. Like they had that fake memory. Like what's
It's weird.
the one where it's like people swore that the Monopoly guy had a monocle when he never did.
Wait, no, he did have one.
He did?
He did have one, bro. Oh my god, we're experiencing the Mandela effect as it is.
Hold on. Hold on. God.
Let's
Hold
see.
on. Yeah.
What wait,
Oh yeah, he did have a wait.
he did, right? Okay,
Okay, in some versions he did, in some versions he doesn't.
that's weird.
Okay, in some versions he
Definitely don't like that.
did. So okay, so I'm
I
not.
don't like that.
I don't like that either.
They're fucking with us.
In one he doesn't have it, and in the other ones he does, and it's so weird.
Oh, dude. What and it's called the do you know I can't remember exactly why it's called the Mandela
It's
effect.
called the Mandela effect because it was there was a popular theory that
Mhm.
um, that Nelson Mandela um, sorry,
No, you're good, you're good.
that Nelson Mandela was dead in the 90s or like in the early 2000s for whatever reason. People were
Uh-huh.
convinced that Nelson Mandela had been dead for a long time when he wasn't.
He was where?
He was just in South Africa.
Shut up.
Yeah. People were convinced that Nelson Mandela had been killed or dead for a long time. When
Oh my
didn't he
god.
die in like 2012? When
I
did
don't know. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
he
it's
die in
recent.
the early 2000s? Like yeah, it's like
Yeah, like this century, like this past, like
yeah,
something.
2013.
Uh huh.
He didn't die until 2013, so that's relatively recent.
Absolutely. Yeah, 9 years.
It's like kind of like when everyone thought Stan Lee had died before his death, like for a very long time.
Who's Stan Lee?
Dude, Stan Lee, the creator of
I
Marvel,
like heard of who?
the creator of Marvel, like the creator of Spider-Man and Hulk and
Stan Lee. Yes, yes, of
Stan
course.
Lee.
Of course, I know who Stan Lee is. He's like he does the cameos every movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Old guy.
Thought that he had died even before the Cinematic Universe was even a thing. People thought he
That's
was an old
crazy.
guy,
Right, right.
you know? But
That's funny.
yeah, no, the Mandela effect really freaked me out. People look into it too much. I personally just believe it's like it's a mix of companies kind of fucking with us a little bit, where like
That's what I think. That's what I think too.
one iteration of like a very specific way of branding and that they never brought back or they never think back and it messes with our heads and messes
Yep.
with our memory. I
Because that
that's the logical solution to
no, well, well, you're not wrong that it exists. 'Cause that shit
it
exists.
definitely exists. What freaks me out are deja vus. I hate hate
Why?
deja vu.
I had one yesterday. It was
I
kind of
had
weird.
one yesterday too because
No way.
no way, dude. I promise you. I promise you. Because they're very specific. I
Uh huh.
every now and again
Uh huh.
I have these weird dreams where I picture a very specific scene. Me watching BoJack Horseman when somebody walks in, or me being in the back room of a very specific seat in class when a very specific video is playing and a very specific dialogue is said. Like it's very, and it's only for a few seconds. But then you wouldn't think about it for days, months, even years later, and it happens. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I hate. That's
That's
why I
it.
hate
It is.
myself.
And that, do you sometimes like remember it like
Yes,
yourself? Like do you like try to
you're like
remember it? Oh
you're
God.
in the middle of it. When you're in the
Right.
when you say something, they just
Yep. Yep.
I've been here before.
Yep.
Shit, like it makes it
That's the simulations and all that
just,
or
just
something.
makes me feel like I can. It's like, dude, can I just give me future powers? All right, stop teasing me with inconvenient specific memories. Just give me. The power of
Totally, totally inconvenient. Like, just like makes no sense. Why
it
do I
makes no
remember this? Why?
sense. It's so specific. So somebody
Oh
would
my
say one
gosh.
thing, and I'm just like, "What'd you say?" I said
Hmm.
that. I'm like, "God damn it!" I mean, it's a deja vu. I pictured this like 6 months ago.
Oh my god, dude.
So
Yeah, that's happened to me. That's why I'm asking, because that's definitely happened to me.
has it?
That's
Okay,
crazy,
okay. Has it
dude.
happened more recently to you?
Dude, 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 dude.
You know, it's happened
Okay,
more. It's happened
dude.
more recently.
Let me tell you one actually that it's just
Okay, okay.
totally freaky. Like, I literally, like, the night before, it's like 3 4 weeks ago or something like that, maybe like a month ago. This is like right around where like I started the job or something like that. I excuse me. I started picturing like I went to bed and I just like started thinking of these like animals like a giraffe, like zebra, like everything, like, and then this, it was just like this just live like zebra that I could see, like I was dreaming like straight up, and I was just like, oh, that was a weird dream. Like I remembered like it was a lion, it was like elephants, it was a bunch of them, like it was just like I could see their faces and it was just like super realistic, and it was like they were looking at me straight on, bro. Literally like two or like maybe like I think it was a day after, bro. Like, I went to Burger King to go get a kids meal. Like, I've never gotten a kids meal because I was just trying to save money and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
eat food fast and stuff like that. Dude, I saw the kids meal that I had. I even have it on my desk, like on the archive thing. Like, I opened the kids meal thing. It was a it was like a bendable, like a folded paper, kind of like this, like real nice and stuff like that, like nice laminate. And bro, what did I see? The face of an elephant, the face of a zebra, the face of a lion,
Oh
the face of a
my god.
bro. I'm like, what is going on here, dude?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I kept it. I was just like, yo, this can't be real. I can't be making this shit up, dude. Like, like
Dream-
it's freaking me out, bro. But I was just like, ah, whatever. Like,
to me, dreams are like some of the wildest concepts in human
Mhm.
history. We don't even know. We barely even
We
know it
don't understand it. Yeah, we don't.
at all. At all. And there was one that I will never forget. There was one. I love the dreams where your mind. It's not a deja vu or a nightmare or anything. I love the
Hmm.
dreams that you can remember. I
Uh
love the
huh.
dreams that
Yeah.
really allow your mind to process whatever you're going through in a
Hmm.
weirdest way that makes you remember. Right.
Hmm.
Weirdest dream I have ever had still sticks with me to this day because it was like it had just been after a bunch of personal shit went down in early
Hmm.
2020, and I was dreaming that I it'd been 40 years or 20 years down the line. I was like 40,
No
45,
way.
and I
Uh
was
huh.
in this big mansion. I had owned this big ass house. I have made it. I even have an RV because I'd always wanted an RV parked, ready to go at any time, whenever I want. That's what I
Hmm.
wanted, right? But this was just after like everything that went down in my personal life. So like my all my former friends and everything were there in my
Hmm.
celebrating my birthday, but it was in a weird way. It was
Mm.
like I was seeing which ones were my real friends and which ones weren't, and that led to a big old fight. And
Mm.
I came out of the mansion being laughed at. I was like, it was about to turn into a nightmare. And I came out of the room. I came out of the mansion after the party after the big fight. And I was like trying
Mhm.
to smoke a cigarette or something in my dream. And I didn't have pants on. I had a shirt, but I didn't have pants on. And I'm like, oh no, that's even worse, right?
Uh-huh.
And I remembered this is my property. I can walk pantsless if I want to.
Right.
Walk towards the RV. I remember, didn't worry about anything. And I will never forget when I walked into that RV, it was like there was a couple there. I don't know their faces or anything, but it was a couple.
Uh-huh.
And one was, a man and a woman. And both of them were basically the same, like wearing a shirt, but pantsless, and playing video games. And they were like, "About time you come in, man. How you doing? Join us." And it was the most comforting feeling in the world. And like it basically brought up a lot of like past
Yeah.
trauma that kind of
Right, right, right.
to that fight. And what I needed was an escape and kind of like a realization of who I am as a person.
That's crazy.
That
That's cool.
is like the dream. That's the dream that sticks with me every now and again.
I love that, bro, because it's like, and I mean, it means so much to you because it's like you were really able to like almost like change your mind about how you felt about the situation almost,
Yeah,
and then or it therefore led you to like a better place.
yeah. And I woke up and I was like, "The fuck!" Like, it was
Yeah,
like I,
yeah,
because like in most dreams, you don't remember much. You remember hints, but you don't remember.
right,
This is one of the few times where I was able to remember everything, everything that
yeah.
happened, every minute, every detail.
That's crazy. I've had some dreams like that. But I had, not like that lately, but that's cool. It's like you were able to like time travel or something. Like you were 40 years old. Like,
Yeah, I was like retired. Basically, like what would have happened had I stayed with my life choices, essentially,
uh huh,
and to see the people that I would be like, imaginary age in front of me, basically.
uh huh,
And
yeah.
when I got out, when I went into that RV, I was back into my 20s.
Right. Oh, that's oh crap. Okay,
So I was back
okay.
in my 20s. And I was like, what a
Oh my
crazy
god.
dream I just had. I was living in a mansion. It was like, well, you're back in the RV. Come join us. We're playing Smash Brothers. We're playing we were playing Smash in my dream.
Yeah.
Right? Look
Oh my
how big of a
god.
Nintendo fan I am on that one.
I remember, dude. We had some fun times playing a Nintendo, dude.
For sure, yeah.
Mario. I think was it with you that we played Mario Party 3?
Yeah.
It was, dude. Since then I've loved that game. The little mini games and stuff like that. But freaking yeah, dreams are weird, bro.
Being a
Dreams are
dream, it's like to have that sense of comfort in a dream, to have that sense.
dude. I love that. I love those dreams that you can remember like that, man. It's and I've I find myself sometimes like not dreaming enough, and then sometimes like dreaming. I guess depend on I don't know. I'm still trying to understand it because you can't really. I was talking to my dad actually about this. Like you can't. I was there was at some point like I try to interpret every dream and like, oh, what does that mean and stuff like that, and like it just drove me crazy, like
Yeah.
literally. And but then I was just like, okay. Then obviously it's like okay, like dreams are sometimes are just excess, sometimes whatever, depending on what you believe, they mean something or whatever. So
What do you
dreams are interesting, bro.
let me ask you this. What do you
Uh-huh.
think? I'll tell you what
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dreams mean to me, but what do they mean to you personally?
I think they're a mixture of things. I think they're a mixture of like past experiences, healing. It's a mixture of a little bit of foresight, like in a sense, like in a weird way. A little bit of sense of like subconsciousness that you don't really like get notice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But mainly, I think it's I think it's like more science than anything. I think it's just more like there's a lot of healing that happens like when you sleep. Like that's why you need sleep. And so it's like just something that your body does to, kind of keep your mind going because your mind's always going. Your subconscious, I mean, your heart's beating, you're breathing, so I don't know. But also I know that the mind doesn't know the difference between physicality and like mentality. Like
Yeah.
if you practice something in the mind, like yeah, that's crazy. So that's why I think it's a mixture. That's what I say. Yeah, tell me what do you think? What is it?
So
What is the dream?
I personally think it is kind of like you. It's a mix of a bunch of things, but I personally think it's a way the brain copes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to cope with the amount of information that you're given on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
The way your mind is able to kind of deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
You go through life so much. You go through a bunch of shit, um, and your head. basically while you sleep has to learn to figure it the fuck out
That's
so
true.
that
Yeah.
you can wake up a regular normal human being the
Hmm.
next day. So I think the brain finds its own, every person finds its own unique way to cope, and that's through dreams. In my,
That's
some
pretty cool. Yeah.
people
That.
dream, some people dream a lot and have a lot of nightmares. Some people, dream lucidly and control their dreams. Those are the ones I'm jealous about. I,
That scares me.
I want to, but it's like whenever I learned that you have to like write a journal about what you
Uh-huh.
dreamt. I'm like, I can't do that. No,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I can't commit to that.
I've tried. I mean, I've tried. Like they say, like if you can remember your dreams and stuff like that, or like look at your hand or something like that. I don't. I'm not really sure what the technicality is with that, but that's yeah, dude. I mean, the brain, dude. We don't even understand the brain. Like we live here. Like we are brain, right? So,
Right? It's like people
God
have
damn.
this hubris of trying to understand everything. It's like we can't even understand dreams. We can't even understand our own head. What makes you think we can understand?
We don't even know like 90% of the ocean or
Yeah,
some shit like that. Like
we know
it's
like 5, ten
like
percent.
what the fuck is down
We
there?
know
Like
more about space, dude. We know more about space. How wild is that?
there's a movie. There's actually a movie that it's like supposedly based on a two story. Like it's like about an underground like tunnel that or people that went super deep and like
Alien.
there's like monsters on there like octopuses and there's like a mother that's like super huge that's like I mean,
Yeah,
all that.
squid.
I love the thought of that, but I would never, ever, 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 ever go down there like that, man. Because that shit
It's
is
way too terrifying. I feel like people are developing this fear of the ocean, and they have every right to. Okay, like
absolutely.
the deep ocean has some scary things in there. All right, look, do not
Even whales, bro. Whales are scary to me for some reason. Like,
really.
I think so, dude. I mean, imagine swimming
Killer
and you're just like,
whales. Killer
bro,
whales,
like,
aren't they?
like if they're helping you, yeah, maybe. But man, okay, imagine you're swimming in the middle of the ocean. You just like you just know, like you're just looking down. You have like goggles, and you hit like you see down. It's like, wah, like what would you do, bro?
Dude.
Like, bro. It's a whale, by the way. It's a whale. You know it's a whale, but it's freaking terrifying because that
Oh
thing's
yeah,
huge.
it's terrifying. The ocean is terrifying mainly because we are not good swimmers.
Yeah,
We're
yeah, that's true.
we can't dodge correctly. Like if we're stuck in the water with no equipment, you bet your ass we're literally just fucked.
Totally fucked.
It's only a matter of time. We're only gonna like what uh, get exhausted, sink eventually. You know.
Yeah. Shit, man. Dude, I was gonna ask you, man. Is there anything you wish I would have asked you here, man? I know I'm kind of stealing your time a little
Oh
too long, like an hour. Is
no.
there anything where that you would ask you about?
Anything? That's a good question. Uh, that question you should ask me that question earlier.
Yeah. I
Um,
love how you think about it too, because you're like, ooh, you're like looking at it from like a.
I wanted to ask you about your sponsor and how you feel and like how you feel about.
So I literally just got an email. I just got an email, or not an email. I was checking the monetization. I'm actually on that page right now, and they have. There, I'm waiting for them to send an email. I will say who it is right now. It's Anchor, and Anchor is going to be, I mean, they're amazing with how the like everything's set up, how they're doing the setup and everything with the episodes. With oh my gosh, it's just so cool. But they're going to give me actually a script of what to say, and then I can record like the commercial and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
no,
that was going to be really cool.
add your own
And
little spiciness to it.
the what?
Add your own little spiciness to it.
Exactly, and that's what they say. Like, be enthusiastic.
Yeah, be your
So
be your.
they're supposed to send me an email. It literally says right here, like, we're hard work at setting up your first Anchor ad, and we'll email you once it's ready for you to record.
That's
So,
perfect, man. Congratulations, man. You're growing, man.
dude, it's happening, bro. It's happening, and you're helping me. You're helping me with this, man.
But no, I can't think of you. Were great. You were an amazing host, man. As always, keep doing
Thanks,
you.
bro.
Keep growing. All right. Don't be afraid of getting some outlandish guests, man. Go out there. Fuck it. People, I'm telling you, people want to be on camera and people
No
want to
kidding,
talk
huh?
about you. People want
Yeah,
to talk. I'm telling you.
yeah,
So if you find your if you say go on Facebook or go on social media and be like, hey, I'm looking for get anybody want to come in my show and talk, I'd love to have you.
yeah. See, I've yet to do that, but again, I mean, having you like keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking to you, and I'm gonna keep asking you questions and stuff. This is gonna be a journey, man. But I'm glad you're literally part of it. Literally,